Prevention of Evolution, a story by Night Day Zoroark. I'll never look at a shiny Eevee the same way again. Ever. It started only a few days ago. I was on the internet looking for action replay codes. I really wanted one for either a shiny Eevee or Vulpix. Then I found one for that shiny Eevee I wanted so much. The code was long, but I was willing to take the time to put it in. It took about 15 minutes to put the code in, but I was so excited to get the code into action. I started up my Soul Silver game with the code on. I clicked Continue, and my previous game data came up. I was saved right in front of the Pokemon Center. I rushed into the place with my Typhlosion following me behind. I went to the PC and pressed A. Klaus booted up the PC. I clicked on A on Bill's PC. Pokemon storage system activated. I pressed the L and R buttons down and moved to the box 5, where a shiny Eevee was supposed to come up. I moved the cursor over the Eevee. It was named EE, and it was level 1. Its moves were Tackle, Growl, Sand Attack, and Swift. I took out my level 1 Giratina from my party and put it into the first box of the PC. Afterwards, I put EE into my party. I wanted to trade it onto my Heart Gold version since it was the one I always play. I got my other DS and popped Heart Gold into it. I turned it on and clicked Continue. Once both of my players were in the Union Room, I started the trade. I traded my Cubone onto my Soul Silver in return for EE. Once the Pokemon were traded onto the separate versions, I made both players leave the Union Room and saved. One at a time. Once turning off the system Soul Silver was in, I went to playing Heart Gold. I wanted to clone EE so I could get the rest of the evolutions. I wonder if I have a Thunderstone, I wondered to myself as I opened the character's bag. The only evolution stone I had was a Water Stone. Vaporeon will do for now, I guess. I clicked A on the Water Stone and clicked on EE. I watched as the Eevee evolved into a pink Vaporeon. Once the evolution process was done, I saved the game and turned it off, as it was time for me to go to bed. Several days passed and I had gotten all of the shiny evolutions except for Flareon, but that didn't matter to me. I'd get it later. I wanted to get EE back on my Soul Silver. I got the DS and popped it in my Action Replay DSi along with the Soul Silver. Once the code list loaded, I clicked on the shiny Eevee code and started up the game. I clicked Continue as soon as the options came up. I was saved in the Pokemon Center this time. I ran over to the PC. Klaus booted up the PC. I clicked on A on Bill's PC. Pokemon storage system activated. I was already in box 5. I moved to box 6 and held down the L and R buttons. R and L buttons. I moved back to box 5. Instead of an E icon in the box, there was an egg icon. I moved my cursor onto it. It was a bad egg. I moved the egg to the side of the box and tried it again. Another bad egg. I moved this egg to the bottom and tried for a third time. This time, EE appeared in the box. I moved EE back into my party. I wanted to train her. I disregarded the fact that I had 2 bad eggs in my PC box, and I logged off the PC. I ran out of the Pokemon Center to train EE. I held the Max XP code on, so this would be easy. After flying to Goldenrod City on my Ho-Oh, I ran out of the city, knowing that I had sneaked past some of the trainers. Once a trainer had spotted me, I sent out EE. The opposing trainers sent out a level 10 Diglett. I returned EE and sent out my trusty Typhlosion. After a foe's Diglett attacked, I selected Typhlosion's command. This wouldn't be hard at all for him since he was level 100. I selected Slash. Typhlosion! Use Slash! Foe Diglett fainted! I held down the R button so EE would gain max XP points. EE grew to level 2. EE grew to level 3. This went on until EE grew to level 37. Trainer is about to send out Zubat. Will Klaus change Pokemon? I selected yes and sent out EE. Go, EE! Trainer sent out Zubat. I selected the fight command and then chose Swift. EE chose use Swift. Bo Zubat died. Their Zubat died? I questioned. I shook my head and ignored it. Although, through my confusion, I forgot to hold down the R button to get max XP for my shiny Eevee. Trainer is about to send out Diglett. Will Klaus switch Pokemon? I selected no this time. Trainer sent out Diglett. What will EE do? I selected the fight option, then chose Swift again. EE used Swift. Foe's Diglett died. Again, the Pokemon had died, even though this still confused me. I remembered to hold down the R button. EE grew to level 38. She grew to level 39. EE grew to level 40. This continued until EE reached level 52. The opposing trainer didn't do anything after I beat him, before the screen went back to the overworld. I got to the evolution screen and EE was on there. What? EE's evolving! The animation started showing it was trying to evolve into an Espeon. I clicked the B button since I already had a shiny Espeon. What? EE stopped evolving! I noticed that EE seemed to be angry. I ignore her and go on training it. About 5 minutes or so go by. EE was trying to evolve into Espeon again. I pressed the B button and EE seemed angry at me. I was once again in the overworld, but before I could do anything, my trainer faced EE and it had an angry icon above her head. EE wants to evolve into an Espeon. Yes or no options came up, being that I didn't want it to evolve into an Espeon. I clicked no. The angry icon appeared over EE's head again, and the small sprite jumped up and down, as if it was throwing a tantrum. EE wants to evolve. Another yes or no option came up. I clicked no again. EE didn't do anything this time. I opened up my party and noticed all my Pokemon were now bad eggs, except for EE. I clicked on the summer. EE's sprite had evil-looking smirk on its face and red eyes. I was starting to get tired of it, so I went to a Pokemon Center and went to the PC. Klaus booted up the PC. I clicked on Bill's PC. Pokemon storage system activated. I selected EE, then clicked on release. EE won't leave without a fight. Suddenly, I was dragged into a random encounter. EE wants to fight. Go, Typhlosion! There were two things I noticed here. The first thing was that I'd finally had my Typhlosion back. The second thing was that both EE and Typhlosion's slides were bloody. EE still had that grin on its face, and there was now blood on her eyes and ears. Typhlosion's sprite looked very much like it was in pain. Blood was dripping from its mouth and nose. Flesh was exposed on its forehead, and the flame on its neck looked weak. What will Typhlosion do? I clicked the fight command, then chose Flamethrower. What will Typhlosion do? I clicked the fight command and chose Flamethrower. Typhlosion is scared. What? I whispered to myself. I didn't know Pokemon would get too scared to attack. EE used Bite. The attack dealt much damage to my Typhlosion, but it wasn't down yet. There was more blood on it now than before. What will Typhlosion do? Fight or Flamethrower? Typhlosion is scared. Again? EE used Kill. Typhlosion died. No! I'm glad my dad wasn't home when I had said that. Klaus is out of usable Pokemon. Klaus fell victim to EE. I was once again confused. What did it mean by fell victim? I was back in the overworld, but I seemed to be in the Lex Forest instead of Pokemon Center. The forest was a dark red instead of its normal green color. Bones and rotting flesh were strewn across the area. The little pond was red too. At this point, I was starting to feel sick to my stomach. Then I noticed something. EE was right in front of my trainer. EE's trainer's sprite. EE's sprite jumped up and down. EE wants you to suffer. I was getting scared to go on with this. I moved my thumb to the power button.
Don't even try it. You're not getting away from me.
A voice came through the speakers of my DS. I assumed the voice belonged to EE. The screen turned to black, and the only sound I could hear was what sounded like slashing. When the overworld came back, I saw my trainer lying on the ground in a pool of blood. He had an arm and leg missing, and his eyes were pitch black. I assumed that his eyes were ripped out. EE's sprite jumped up and down again, with a happy icon appeared on her head.
Wee.
I tried turning off the game, and to my surprise, it works this time. I sat on my couch speechless and breathed hard for a moment before turning it back on. I clicked the Soul Silver once I was on the DSi menu. After the screen came up, I was immediately taken to a wild encounter. My trainer's sprite was missing his eyes and an arm. I swallowed hard. This greatly disturbed me. Then the opposing Pokemon appeared. EE attacked. I noticed that EE had shiny Espeon ears, tail, and a jewel. Blood was dripping from the ears, tail, and jewel. Her eyes were red, and also had blood dripping from them. Its cry was like a demonic version of Espeon's cry. The only option was ball. I click on it. Klaus used one Pokeball. EE goes into the ball. It shakes once, and again. Then EE breaks out. EE doesn't want to go back. EE used kill. Oh no. There's a flash of crimson red before the text box came up. EE has killed Klaus. The screen went back to the overworld. My trainer's sprite wasn't there. EE's sprite was now grinning widely.
You should have let me evolve.
EE's voice echoed through the speakers of my DSi. The game turned itself off as EE finished talking. I was too terrified to turn it back on. I threw my DS at the wall, and surprisingly, only my Soul Silver game pops out of it. I picked up the game cartridge and threw it into my trash can at the corner of the room. I sat there on my couch wondering what just happened. I turned on my TV and the screen was black. I figured I had just left it on the channel I used to play my TV on my Wii. I turned through the channels before leaving it on 29. The screen remained black. I sighed and reached to press the power button. But before I could, an eerie voice comes through the speakers.
You should have let me evolve.